Listen to me very carefully. What I'm about to tell you could literally change how you look at money forever. Right now, at this exact moment, there are Franklin half dollars moving through pockets, drawers, old jars, and dusty collections that are hiding a silent fortune. Serious money, life-changing opportunity coins that people are accidentally spending like they're nothing. These are not museum pieces. These are hidden treasures hiding in plain sight, and every single day, Americans are losing quiet wealth because they don't know what to look for. If you've ever held a Franklin half dollar, you might have already touched a dangerous hidden treasure and let it slip away. Do not spend these coins. I'm serious. In this video, I'm revealing the top 7 most valuable Franklin half dollars worth big bags of dollars. And each one gets rarer, more shocking, and more expensive as we go. What comes next is not fiction. This is real money, real demand, real collectors, and real auctions happening right now. Stay with me till the end, because the final coin is one most people would never suspect. And it's costing families a silent fortune every single day. Hold on, before you relax, before you scroll, before you assume this doesn't apply to you, listen. Because this coin looks harmless, ordinary, forgettable, and that's exactly why it's dangerous to ignore. The 1954 Franklin half dollar with the D Mintmark is one of those silent fortune coins that people have been spending, trading, and dumping for decades without realizing they were holding hidden wealth. This is the kind of coin that slips through families, estates, and collections unnoticed. And once it's gone forever. Stay till the end, because one tiny detail on this coin changes everything. 1954 was not a calm year in America. The country was still breathing after the shock of World War II, inflation was tight, silver was moving quietly through the economy, and people were focused on survival, not preservation. Coins were tools, not treasures. Nobody was saving Franklin half dollars in perfect condition. They were used, handled, dropped, stacked, spent, and abused. And in Denver, where this coin was struck, the mint was under pressure to produce large quantities fast. Speed mattered more than perfection. That single fact is why this coin exists the way it does today, and why surviving examples in fine condition are so incredibly rare. This Franklin half dollar wasn't meant to be special. It wasn't meant to be collected. It was meant to circulate hard. Denver-struck coins from 1954 were pushed straight into commerce, passed hand to hand, pocket to pocket, register to register. Silver content made them valuable even back then. So many were melted years later when silver prices climbed. Others were cleaned, polished, scratched, or worn down until all the life was gone. That's why a 1954D Franklin half dollar surviving in fine condition today feels almost illegal, like it escaped something it wasn't supposed to survive. And this is where collectors lean forward in their chairs. Because the D Mintmark matters. Denver Mint Franklin halves from this year are notorious for weak strikes, soft details, and rushed production. Most examples look tired, flat, lifeless. The bell lines fade early. Franklin's hair loses definition fast. The fields pick up marks almost instantly. So when one appears with strong eye appeal, natural aging, and original surfaces, collectors don't hesitate. They pounce. Auctions don't whisper about these coins. They explode. This is not a coin you casually find looking pretty. Fine condition on this issue is rare because the coin was never treated gently. Survival itself is the story. And collectors know this. They know how many were lost. They know how many were destroyed. They know how few remain untouched. That's why demand keeps rising and supply keeps shrinking. People who own them are holding tight. They're not selling. They're waiting because they know what they have is quiet wealth. And let me warn you right now, if you ever see this coin, do not spend it. Do not clean it. Do not try to make it shiny. Cleaning destroys the soul of this coin. Original toning matters. Natural surfaces matter. One careless move can erase a life-changing opportunity in seconds. This is not a coin you experiment with. This is a coin you protect. Collectors obsess over tiny details on this piece. The strength of Franklin's profile, the depth around the lettering, the natural color that only time can create, the bell details that survived against all odds. These small things separate an ordinary coin from a silent fortune. And professional grading? Non-negotiable. Without it, the market doesn't trust. With it, the doors open. What's happening right now in the market is real. Auctions are heating up. Bidding wars are happening quietly. Private sales are happening behind closed doors. And when a true, fine-condition 1954D Franklin half-dollar surfaces, it doesn't sit. It disappears into a collection. This is not hype. This is not speculation. This is demand colliding with rarity. And today, this hidden treasure carries a market value of around $121,000, not as a number, but as serious money, silent fortune, life-changing wealth, hiding in plain sight. And the scariest part? Someone out there still has one and has no idea. So check your coins. Check your family holdings. Check those old envelopes and jars. And remember, patience is golden. Rushing destroys value. Ignoring destroys opportunity. Stay right here, because the next Franklin half-dollar makes this one look common. And what comes next is even rarer, even more shocking, and even more dangerous to overlook. Stop. Do not blink. Do not assume this is just another old coin story, because what you're about to hear is exactly how people lose a silent fortune without ever realizing it. The 1962 Franklin half-dollar with no mint mark is one of the most dangerous hidden treasures in American coin history, because it looks so normal, so common, so spendable, and that's why it keeps slipping away. This is the kind of coin that quietly walks out of families, estates, and collections while carrying serious money on its back. Stay with me, because one overlooked detail on this coin turns pocket change into life-changing opportunity. 1962 was a pressure year in the United States. The economy was tense, the Cold War was heavy in the air, and confidence in the future was shaky. Silver coins were still doing their job, moving fast through daily life. No one was stopping to protect Franklin half-dollars. They were tools of commerce, not symbols of wealth. And the Philadelphia Mint, striking coins without mint marks, was pumping them out to meet demand, not to create perfection. That rush is exactly why truly fine condition examples from this year are so rare today. This Franklin half-dollar was born to be spent. It wasn't saved. It wasn't admired. It was folded into wages, dropped into tills, stacked, scraped, and passed endlessly. Most of them came back scarred, dull, or worn. Many were later melted when silver values climbed. Others were ruined by cleaning, polishing, or careless handling. Survival alone is uncommon. Survival in fine condition is shocking. That's why this coin carries so much quiet power. The missing mint mark is what traps people. No mint mark means Philadelphia, and people assume that means common. That assumption has cost collectors a fortune. Because this year, this issue, this strike, it's a minefield. The details on Franklin's face fade quickly. The bell lines vanish fast. The fields pick up marks instantly. Most examples you'll ever see look tired, lifeless, flat. So when one appears with strong detail, natural color, and untouched surfaces, collectors know instantly they're looking at something special, and they don't hesitate. This is where the market behavior tells the real story. When a legitimate fine condition, 1962 no Mintmark Franklin $half hits the market, it doesn't sit around waiting for buyers. It triggers quiet competition. Serious collectors step in. They understand how few of these survived without damage. They understand that the supply is drying up. And they understand that once these coins disappear into long-term collections, they may not resurface for years, if ever. And let me be very clear, if you ever come across this coin, do not spend it. Do not clean it. Do not try to improve it. Cleaning strips away originality, and originality is everything. That natural look, that untouched surface, that honest aging, that's where the value lives. One mistake can turn hidden wealth into regret. Professional grading is not optional here. It's protection. It's credibility. It's survival in the market. Collectors chase tiny details on this coin. The strength of the lettering. The depth around Franklin's jaw. The way the light moves across the fields. These small things decide whether a coin is ignored or locked away as a silent fortune. And right now, more collectors are holding than selling. Demand keeps rising. Supply keeps shrinking. This is not a rumor. This is happening. Today, this coin carries a market value around $141,000. Not as a price tag, but as serious money, quiet wealth, life-changing opportunity, hiding in plain sight. And somewhere, someone still thinks it's just another $half. Stay right here, because the next Franklin $half is even rarer, even more shocking, and even more dangerous to overlook. And once you hear it, you'll never look at your coins the same way again. Listen closely, because this is where people make the biggest mistake of all. They assume the last year doesn't matter. They assume late date means safe, common, harmless. And that single assumption has erased a silent fortune from American hands again and again. The 1963 Franklin $half with the D Mintmark is not just rare, it's dangerous to ignore. This is a hidden treasure that slipped through history at the exact moment everything was changing. And if you've ever seen one, you may have already let life-changing wealth walk away. Stay with me, because one overlooked detail on this coin changes everything. 1963 was a breaking point year in the United States. The economy was shifting, silver was under pressure, and trust in coinage was quietly eroding. This was the final year of the Franklin $half, the end of an era. Nobody was thinking about saving them. People were spending them fast, while the government prepared to move on. In Denver, the mint was striking coins under urgency, not care. They weren't making collectibles. They were clearing the runway. And that rush is exactly why surviving fine condition examples of the 1963D are so shockingly scarce today. This coin lived a hard life from day one. It entered circulation at full speed, surrounded by uncertainty and heavy use. Franklin halves were workhorses. They were handled, stacked, scraped, and passed constantly. And when silver prices later climbed, these coins were targets. Melted, destroyed, gone. Others were improved by cleaning, which silently kills value. That's why when a 1963D Franklin $half survives with strong detail, natural surfaces, and honest aging, collectors don't see a coin, they see a miracle. The D Mintmark is the trap. Denver issues from this final year are notorious for weak strikes and soft details. Franklin's hair often looks flat. The bell lines are usually weak or broken. Fields pick up marks instantly. Most examples you'll ever encounter look exhausted. But when one appears in fine condition, with clarity still alive in the design, it stands out immediately. This is the kind of coin that makes experienced collectors stop breathing for a second. And here's what's happening behind the scenes right now. Collectors are not selling these. They're locking them away. Auction appearances are rare, and when they happen, they spark quiet wars. Bids climb fast, not because of hype, but because of fear. Fear of missing out on a coin that may not come back to market for years. This is not fiction. This is real behavior in today's market. If you ever come across this coin, do not spend it. Do not clean it. Do not rub it. Do not chase shine. Original toning is sacred. Natural surfaces are everything. One careless move can destroy serious money in seconds. Professional grading is not optional. It's the shield that protects this hidden wealth and proves its authenticity to the market. Collectors obsess over microscopic details here. The sharpness of Franklin's profile, the strength of the lettering, the way the bell design still breathes despite everything stacked against it. These details separate an ignored coin from a silent fortune. And patience? Patience is gold. Rushing ruins value. Ignoring destroys opportunity. Right now, this coin carries a market value around $147,000, not as a number, but as quiet wealth, serious money, life-changing opportunity hiding in plain sight. And the scariest part is how easily it gets overlooked. Stay right here, because the next Franklin $half makes this one look easy to find. And what comes next is rarer, more shocking, and even more dangerous to ignore. Stop right there. This is the coin people throw back into a drawer because it looks off, dull, grey, not flashy, and that single moment of doubt has erased a silent fortune more times than anyone wants to admit. The 1961 Franklin $half with the D Mintmark and that natural grey layer is one of the most misunderstood hidden treasures in U.S. coin history. This is not damage. This is not neglect. This is quiet wealth wearing a disguise. And if you've ever passed on one of these, you may have walked away from a life-changing opportunity. Stay with me, because this detail flips everything upside down. 1961 was a tense, transitional year in America. The economy was tight, confidence was shaky, and silver coins were still being used hard, fast, and without mercy. Nobody was thinking about saving Franklin $half, especially not ones that didn't shine. In Denver, the mint was focused on output, not beauty. Coins were struck to move, not to impress. And because of that, most 1961D Franklin halves entered circulation immediately and stayed there. They were handled constantly, exposed to the elements, and stripped of any chance at a gentle life. That grey layer you see today is where people make their fatal mistake. They think dull means worthless. They think grey means damaged. But to serious collectors, that natural grey toning is proof of survival. Proof the coin was never cleaned. Proof it aged honestly. Proof it escaped the polishing cloth that destroyed so many others. Cleaning killed thousands of these coins, wiping out their originality and their value. The ones that kept their natural grey skin are the ones that survived the massacre. The D Mintmark matters more than people realize. Denver Franklin halves from 1961 are notorious for weak strikes and fast wear. Details vanish quickly. Bell lines disappear. Fields pick up marks the moment they enter circulation. Most examples you'll see today look flat, tired, and abused. Finding one in fine condition, with that original grey layer intact, is rare in a way that doesn't scream. It whispers. And only trained eyes hear it. Collectors chase this coin for what it represents. It's not flashy. It's not obvious. It's a sleeper. Auction houses know this. When a properly preserved 1961D Franklin half-dollar with original grey toning shows up, it doesn't get loud marketing. It gets quiet calls, private interest, serious money moving behind the scenes. These coins don't bounce around the market. They disappear into collections and stay there. And let me be very clear with you right now. If you ever come across this coin, do not spend it. Do not clean it. Do not try to brighten it. Grey layer is not a flaw. It's the fortune. Remove it and you erase the value. Professional grading is critical here because it protects the coin and proves that the toning is original, not artificial, not damaged. Without that proof, the market won't touch it. Collectors examine tiny details on this coin. The softness of Franklin's face without being worn flat. The natural flow of color across the surface. The way the coin feels untouched by human interference. These are the signs of a survivor. And right now, demand is rising quietly. Supply is shrinking fast. Owners are holding. They're not selling. They know what they have. Today, this coin carries a market value around $108,000, not as a price tag, but as hidden wealth, serious money, life-changing opportunity, disguised as something ordinary. And somewhere, someone still thinks it's just an ugly old half-dollar. Stay right here, because the next Franklin half-dollar is even rarer, even more shocking, and even more dangerous to ignore. Once you hear it, you'll understand why this series hides more silent fortunes than almost any other U.S. Pause for a second, because this is one of the most dangerous Franklin half-dollars of all time. Not because it looks rare, not because it screams value, but because it looks early, plain and harmless, and that's exactly how a silent fortune disappears. The 1950 Franklin half-dollar with no mint mark is a hidden treasure that has been underestimated, overspent, and erased from history more than almost any other coin in this series. If you've ever seen one and didn't feel your pulse rise, you were one decision away from losing life-changing wealth. Stay with me, because this coin punishes ignorance. 1950 was a raw year in America. The post-war boom hadn't fully stabilized. Money was tight, and people trusted coins for what they could buy that day, not what they could become tomorrow. Silver coins were moving fast, hard, and constantly. The Philadelphia Mint, striking coins without mint marks, was under pressure to keep the economy flowing. Perfection didn't matter. Survival didn't matter. Speed did. And that single reality is why this coin is so rare in fine condition today. This Franklin half-dollar was born into circulation, not into collections. It was handled aggressively from day one. Pockets, registers, counters, floors. It lived a rough life. Most were worn down early. Many were damaged. Countless examples were later melted when silver prices rose. Others were destroyed by cleaning, polishing, or careless storage. That's why finding a 1950 no-mint mark Franklin half-dollar that still holds its structure, its surfaces, its integrity, feels almost unreal. And here's where people make their biggest mistake. No mint mark means Philadelphia, and people assume that means common. That assumption has quietly cost collectors serious money, because this year produced coins with fragile details. Franklin's hair loses definition quickly. The bell design softens fast. The fields mark easily. Most surviving examples today look exhausted. So when one appears in fine condition, with natural aging and no interference, it sets off alarms in the collector world. This coin doesn't shout. It whispers. And only serious collectors listen. Auction records show that when a properly preserved example surfaces, interest builds fast. Not loud bidding. Not hype. Quiet competition. Long-term buyers. People who aren't flipping. People who are locking these away because they understand something critical. Supply is drying up, and demand is not slowing down. If you ever come across this coin, do not spend it. Do not clean it. Do not rub it. Do not chase shine. Shine destroys originality, and originality is where the fortune lives. Natural surfaces matter. Honest aging matters. One careless move can erase serious money instantly. Professional grading is essential because without it, the market doesn't trust. With it, the coin becomes undeniable. Collectors obsess over the smallest things here. The depth of the lettering, the balance of wear without damage, the untouched look that proves the coin wasn't helped. These details decide whether a coin is ignored or recognized as hidden wealth. And patience is everything. Rushing ruins value. Waiting protects it. Right now, this coin carries a market value around $114,000, not as a number, but as quiet wealth, silent fortune, life-changing opportunity hiding in plain sight. And the most terrifying part? Someone out there still thinks it's just an old $half. Stay right here, because the next Franklin $half is even rarer, even more shocking, and even more dangerous to overlook. And once you hear it, you'll understand why ignoring these coins is the most expensive mistake people keep making. This is where the Franklin $half story turns dark. This is the coin people never expect to matter because it came first. And that single misunderstanding has erased a silent fortune from American history again and again. The 1948 Franklin $half with the D Mintmark in very fine condition is not just rare. It's a dangerous hidden treasure that slipped into circulation before anyone knew what it would become. If you've ever seen one and treated it casually, you may have let life-changing wealth disappear forever. Stay with me, because this coin rewrites the rules. 1948 was not a peaceful year for coinage. America was adjusting to a new world after war. Metal supplies were tight, and the Franklin $half was brand new. This was the first year of the series. No one knew collectors would one day obsess over it. In Denver, the Mint was learning on the job, pushing out coins fast, with imperfect strikes and inconsistent quality. They weren't creating legends. They were testing a design under pressure. And that chaotic beginning is exactly why surviving 1948 Franklin $half in very fine condition are so incredibly scarce today. This coin didn't get a chance to rest. It was released straight into heavy circulation. People were curious, yes, but they still spent them. Registers slammed shut on them. Pockets chewed them up. Surfaces picked up marks fast. The details softened early. And later, when silver prices rose, these early Franklin halves became targets. Melted, destroyed, gone. Others were cleaned in a desperate attempt to make them look better, quietly killing their value. That's why a true, very fine survivor feels like it escaped a storm. The D Mintmark is everything here. Denver strikes from 1948 are famous for weak detail. Franklin's face often looks flat. The bell lines are usually incomplete. Fields show heavy contact. So when a very fine example appears with strong structure still intact, collectors instantly recognize it. This isn't about shine. This isn't about perfection. This is about survival against impossible odds. And that's what makes this coin powerful. Behind the scenes, this coin causes tension. Collectors don't talk loudly about 1948 Franklins. They watch. They wait. And when one surfaces with legitimate preservation, they move fast. Auction appearances are rare, and when they happen, bidding climbs quietly but aggressively. These coins don't circulate through the market. They vanish into long-term collections because buyers know something most people don't. This was the birth year, and birth year survivors are irreplaceable. If you ever come across this coin, do not spend it. Do not clean it. Do not polish it. Do not chase brightness. Original surfaces matter more than beauty. Natural wear tells the story. One careless mistake can erase serious money in seconds. Professional grading is critical here because it separates real survivors from altered coins. Without that protection, value collapses. Collectors examine every detail: the balance of wear, the strength of the lettering, the untouched look that proves the coin wasn't manipulated. These tiny things decide whether the coin is ignored or treated as hidden wealth. And right now, owners are holding. Demand is rising. Supply is disappearing. This is not speculation. This is reality. Today, this coin carries a market value around $121,000, not as a number, but as quiet wealth, silent fortune, life-changing opportunity hiding in plain sight. And the scariest part is how easily it's overlooked. Stay right here, because the final Franklin $half is even rarer, even more shocking, and the most dangerous one of all. And missing it could be the most expensive mistake in this entire video. This is it. This is the one people regret missing. The coin that looks calm, ordinary, safe, and quietly walks away with a silent fortune in its shadow. The 1953 Franklin $half with no mint mark in very fine condition is not just rare. It's the kind of hidden treasure that ends arguments, rewrites family stories, and turns "I should have checked" into lifelong regret. If you've stayed with me this far, you need to hear every word of this, because this coin is disappearing right now. 1953 was a tense moment in America. The economy was steady on the surface, but uncertainty lived underneath. People trusted silver coins without questioning their future. Franklin $half were moving fast through daily life, doing exactly what they were designed to do: be spent. The Philadelphia Mint, striking coins without mint marks, was focused on volume, not preservation. Nobody was saving these. Nobody was protecting them. And that is why this coin is so dangerous today. This Franklin $half entered circulation hard and stayed there. It was handled constantly, scraped by registers, pressed into pockets, stacked and dumped without mercy. The details softened quickly. Surfaces picked up marks early. And later, when silver prices climbed, many of these were melted down without hesitation. Others were destroyed by cleaning, stripping away their originality in seconds. That's why a 1953 no mint mark Franklin $half surviving in very fine condition feels like it broke the rules. The missing mint mark is the trap. People see no mint mark and assume common. That assumption has erased quiet wealth from American hands for decades. Because this year produced coins with fragile details that don't survive heavy use well. Franklin's features flatten fast. The bell loses strength early. Most examples today look tired, worn, and lifeless. So when one appears with strong structure still intact, natural surfaces, and honest wear, collectors don't debate. They act. This coin doesn't make noise. It doesn't need hype. It moves in silence. Auction appearances are rare, and when they happen, competition is immediate. Serious collectors step in, not to flip but to hold. They understand the math. Supply is shrinking. Demand is growing. And once these coins disappear into long-term collections, they don't come back. If you ever find this coin, do not spend it. Do not clean it. Do not polish it. Original surfaces are everything. That natural look is not age, it's proof. Proof the coin survived untouched. Professional grading is critical because without it, The market won't trust what you have. One careless decision can erase a life-changing opportunity forever. Collectors study tiny details on this coin. The balance of wear, the clarity of the lettering, the untouched feel that proves it wasn't altered. These details decide whether a coin is ignored or recognized as hidden wealth. And patience here is not optional. Rushing destroys value. Waiting protects it. Right now, this coin carries a market value around $130,000, not as a price tag, but as serious money, silent fortune, life-changing wealth, hiding in plain sight. And the most terrifying part? Someone watching this video still has one and doesn't know it. So before you move on, before you dismiss this, before you spend another $50 without looking, remember this. These coins are still out there. They're still being lost. And the people who check, the people who pause, the people who don't spend first, they're the ones who find quiet wealth. If this video opened your eyes, don't keep it to yourself. Share it, because someone you know is holding a hidden treasure and has no idea. And stay close to Rare Coin News USA, because the next series uncovers even more dangerous coins hiding in plain sight.